Okay, class is in session. We're going to be talking about, we're going to break something down here. This witness is getting sworn in. I'm using criminal cases to teach men how to, she's getting sworn in, that's all that's going on. That is the prosecutor right there with blonde hair, the state's lawyer. She's going to question a lady here, but let's go ahead. There's a lady right there. Hang on a second. All right, real quick so I can set this up so everyone knows what's going on. This is a witness in the Lori Daybell Vallow, or Lori Vallow Daybell, however you want to say it, case. That's a whole separate case. It's very detailed. Basically, this is the mantra of kill the beta before the beta kills you. You need to kill the beta inside you, and you need to watch out for the betas around you that will do harm to you. Chad Daybell ends up marrying a very pretty woman, Lori Vallow. Let's see who Lori Vallow is. There she is. Lori Vallow, very pretty woman. She gets involved with a dork, a beta male, Chad Daybell, who is a author of loser fiction, some kind of loser fiction books. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I want to quickly go through that. It's not important, but he basically wants to be with Lori because she's so hot. He pedestalized her beauty. So he has his wife killed. Two of Lori's children are killed. There's a fourth attempted murder. It's a terrible case. It's a terrible case. Lori's doing 3 life sentences for these murders. But what we want to discuss and what we want to learn is how you don't behave on dating apps, how you need to learn to lead relationships, and the things that Chad Vallow did wrong. Chad Vallow was currently Lori's husband. He was a former minor league baseball player, so he kept in shape. He was a handsome dude. Pause. But no, I mean, handsome guy, strong guy, former athlete, and he was, just a very, very handsome dude. And I'm sure she found him sexy. Lori did. I'm sure this lady that's about to try to date him is finding him sexy as well. So that's and then you have this lady here is going to testify, and it's going to show you how to not behave and how to behave. We'll go through it. I'll break it down, but that's just kind of set it up. This is all I'm really wanting to concentrate on today is this lady's testimony and what we can learn from it. And why I like to use criminal cases is because these are people acting in their normal course of business, not knowing that their behavior is going to become public, and it becomes public. So they can't, hide who they were at this time. Oftentimes, what do I say? People have a public face, especially women, reputation managers. They have a public face and a private face. Well, we get to kind of see that private face in these trials because their behavior wasn't supposed to become public, and through search warrants or through testimony, we get to see that private side, and it's a very good glimpse into how these people react in a private world where they can't try to control the narrative. So men should be watching this and see how people move privately, because that's more of an indication of how you need to deal with people, especially women. If you're men trying to deal with women, don't believe what they say, watch what they do. See what goes on here. We'll break it down.
Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Hi, my name's Nancy Jo Hancock.
And do you go by Nancy Jo?
I do.
How old are you?
61.
Okay, so Charles Vallow meets this 61-year-old lady, fairly, for her age. I mean, she's kind of attractive, looks kind of a little overweight. I'm sure her pictures on a dating app look much different. But, there's a couple of things I think at 61, sexuality needs to be something that we're not ashamed of, we're not afraid of. 61, she has 5 children, she has 15 grandchildren. Sexuality should not be something that they are, that they're scared of, or that they, woe is me, clutch my pearls, watch that behavior. But you'll see in this case, she still tries to act like, that's that public face they're going to put off. But here we go.
Do you currently work?
I'm self-employed.
Do you live here in Arizona?
In Mesa, yes.
Were you born and raised here?
Born and raised here.
Do you have your own children?
5.
Do you have grandchildren?
15.
She knows how to
Who's a
bang.
person?
Yes.
I'm going to direct you to a person by the name of Charles Vallow. Did you ever meet a person by that name?
I did.
How did you meet him?
I'm divorced. I was on an LDS dating site, and when new members join, it tells you this is someone new. And he sent me a message, and we began messaging.
She was going after the new guys. She already seen all the old ones. So, hey, man, if you're on a dating app for too long, you want to go be the new guy. It's always the new guy in school. She had to go check that out.
Initially, did you just talk to him do you talk through the website? How does that work?
Through the website at first, and then he asked for my phone number, and then we were texting and talking.
Once again, get that phone number out there. She's not going to say how long. They're not going to push her on that. And, but she's not going to give it up. But like I said, I guarantee she found him very handsome. And he's younger than her. So she sees him as a catch. She's going to contact him pretty quickly. Watch that. Gentlemen, if they're not contacting you on your cell phone, they don't like you. Give them your phone number. They'll contact you if they like you.
Phone as well.
Do you recall approximately when you met him?
It was early July. I believe the 3rd.
And so you said you guys would text. Was this?
A lot.
Big mistake. Lots of texting. Charles Vallow should not be texting. Women, they need to be your lover at first and your girlfriend second. They don't want to hear your problems. They are not your therapist. This should not be. The more you say, just like in court, your lawyer tells you, be quiet. The more you say, the more that can be used against you. Trust me, women are, I'm just saying, it's not necessary. She's going to like him. She's going to meet him, She's already made the decision whether to meet him or not at this point. You don't need to text, okay? Charles is going to mess up by doing this, okay? Now, luckily, he's handsome enough and good-looking enough, I think, that he keeps her interested, but he's wasting tons of time, tons of effort. He needs to find a buddy, not this woman he doesn't even know, to be trying to tell all his problems to. And he had a lot with this Lori Vallow chick, his wife.
That's a lot to you.
Charles was a texter and a talker, and he was good at banter, and there were hundreds of texts by the time.
Real quick, women will banter with you all day long. Doesn't mean they like you. That they might like your banter, but they cannot find you sexually attractive. If you're on these websites, you're there not to find a friend. You're there to find a lover. Women will talk and banter. That doesn't mean they like you. It doesn't. They're bored. They'll talk to you all day. I've said this.
I had met him.
You said you talked on the phone with him as well?
For hours.
Did you have a conversation with him once that lasted almost 3 hours?
Probably more than one, yeah.
This is ridiculous. You're not building any more attraction. You probably are losing attraction. Women don't find this very arousing. Now, the fact, again, I think he's hot enough to where, she's letting it go, but he's losing respect in her eyes. And maybe she would have been cool with meeting him at a hotel and knocking it out, but he's talking too much. I believe that's the case. He's talking too much.
When you met Charles in early July, did you know he was still married?
He told me he was in the process of a divorce.
Did you know whether or not he was living with his wife at that time?
He was in Houston. His soon-to-be ex-wife was here. When he came to Arizona, he was meeting a realtor to find a place to live when he was here as well.
So when you're first meeting him, he's out of state, but he has a connection here to Arizona, so you keep talking to him?
Correct.
As you guys are talking and texting, did you eventually have enough interest that you decided you wanted to meet him?
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. She wanted to bang the hell out of him.
Did you know what Charles did for a living?
Life insurance is something with money. I try not to have that be the focus when I'm getting to know somebody, so that I get to know them for them and not.
This is her public face. You're lying your butt off. That's okay. We don't care. But I try to get to know you and I want one. Hell yeah, they want to know what they do for a living. However, that doesn't matter if you're going to be the alpha bang. You know, and she probably saw him as that, but he probably went on talking too much. But this is her public face lying.
Do for a living?
So you didn't really care too much about
No.
what his job was?
No.
Did you know he traveled a lot for work?
Yes.
She probably already got enough indicators he's doing okay by himself.
As you and Charles are talking and texting, just sort of yes or no, can you tell us, did he get very detailed about his life with you?
Yes.
Don't do that.
Did you know if Charles had children?
Yes.
Don't care. They don't need to know any of this.
Just yes or no again, did you talk to him about his wife specifically?
A lot.
Very big. These are all problems. This is not how you behave in a meeting someone ever. You're giving out too much information. Women don't need to know that. Now again, and she might put you on that, hey, he's just gonna be a buddy. You know, you're ruining your chances. This is not turning her on at all. Now luckily, I think he had a big enough attraction gap. He is, like I said, he's very attractive for his age. And look, I don't think she's that attractive. I think she's pretty dumpy, if you want to ask me. And I mean, she's attractive in the face, but you know, anyway, I think he had enough attraction that it didn't matter to him. He could, but if you're talking to a really attractive woman who has lots and lots of options, yeah, you don't do any of this. Don't.
Mention his wife by name.
Yes.
What did you believe his wife's name was?
Lori Daybell?
Have you ever met Lori Daybell?
No.
Again, just sort of yes or no. Did Charles talk to you about why? Meeting? Objection.
Lori Vallow is defending herself. She did a really horrible job.
So
At this point in her career, Lori Vallow couldn't find a lawyer.
No, leading is a question that suggests the answer, so she can answer yes or no.
So again, just yes or no. Did Charles talk to you about why he was separated from his wife?
Yes.
Remember, you're going to get 10 different stories. You don't believe any of them.
Your discussions,
That's why none of it's
how did
important
you
right now.
think there had been issues going on between Charles and his wife.
For several months, but more intensely since the beginning of that year was 2019, so since the beginning of that year.
You told us that Charles talked to you let me ask you, yes or no, did he talk to you in great detail about his relationship with Lori Daybell?
Yes.
You told us you met.
Do not do this. Do not do this. Okay? They don't need to know any of this to have sex with you. If they like you enough, they don't need any of this, gentlemen. Do not do this. You're ruining things for yourself.
The LDS dating site, right?
Correct.
So are you a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
I am.
Was there anything that you were hearing that you thought were outside of your beliefs?
A lot of things.
She's hearing a lot of things outside the LDS, their Church of Latter-day Saints. She's hearing a lot of what he's saying. She doesn't align with her beliefs. Now, again, you're creating conflict. It just doesn't need to be said. He's talking way too much. Gentlemen, you get a male friend. Women do not want to hear your problems. You know, in the 50 Shades of Grey, this guy is not going over and over with this chick what his problems are. You want this to be your lover, not your therapist. Big mistake.
As Charles was telling you these things about his wife, can you tell us his demeanor? What his voice was like, what his attitude was like as he's talking about that?
I just remember thinking that he was strangely calm and still kind towards Lori, even through what they were going through.
Even though she's going to set him up for the murder, Lori is. He's about to get murdered.
You told us you were aware he had a child. Did you know where that child lived, who the child lived with?
Yes,
Who was that?
he was living with Lori at that time.
You have.
He had older children as well, but the young one was living with Lori.
You have these conversations with Charles about his wife and these things that to you seem outside the LDS religion. Why do you keep talking to him?
The real answer, she's heard things outside the Church of Latter-day Saints. The real reason, gentlemen, he's hot. She's not going to say that. That's the real reason. She's going to think of a whole different answer because that's her public face. The real reason is he's a little bit younger than her. He's a former college baseball athlete, continuing to be active. He's a hot dude, okay? She's not going to say that. Let's hear what she has to say.
Well, he was very charming and kind and fun.
Charming meaning handsome. Kind, nah.
And very clever.
Clever,
Really good banter.
Banter,
A lot of craziness going on around him, but he seemed
handsome as hell.
Pretty awesome.
Pretty hot is what she wants to say. But again,
Now,
the public
You
face.
guys had just known each other for a few days. Did you think you and Charles were exclusive?
I think so.
So would you be surprised to learn that he was talking to other people on others' websites?
Not at all.
Did he in fact share some of that with you?
He did. He shared some pictures.
So women know you're not exclusive. Again, he's sharing pictures. This is all bad. You don't do any of this. Don't do any of this. Women know you're talking to other people. Admit you're talking to other people. They're talking to other people. That's why you want to don't waste too much time on any of this, okay? But again, they know you're not exclusive. They'll try to act like, women don't try to act like they've been single for 20 years, okay? They haven't been, okay? They know you're not either. Don't buy the BS. It's their public face. These are features, not bugs. We're not mad at any of this. Just know the game.
Some women that had sent him that were quite scanty and then proceeded to ask him for money. And
Not good. Not good. Don't share private information. Don't share women's information. Women don't like that.
Did you eventually meet Charles in person?
I did.
And how many times did you get to meet him in person?
Just once.
And then he was
What
murdered.
day was that?
He was flying in from Houston, and we had arranged to go to dinner that night. His plane was...
Okay. Problem. Here you go, gentlemen. A player, a lover, a romantic guy doesn't schedule a dinner. It does, unless you don't like the girl. But, you know, a woman knows why you're dealing with her. And you should already know why you're dealing with her. He's already spent hours and hours and hours talking to her. They should know if they're sexually compatible to a certain degree. Me, maybe a drink, but at a hotel, but it needs to be a hotel. You know, it's the man's job to lead it to sex. And he's scheduling a dinner. One of the worst things you can ever do is schedule a dinner with a woman. They don't feel good after the dinner usually. They're you know, they've just eaten, have a full stomach. It's not a good way to lead to sex. It's not a good way, you know, they have garlic on their breath. You know, I suggest anything but that. A walk down a river, by your hotel, whatever it needs to be. But you schedule it to where it's leading to sex. That is your job. And what he's doing terribly here, he scheduled a dinner. One of the worst ways to lead a situation into romance. And that's what you should be aiming these relationships for. Sexual relationships with women.
And so I met him that night.
And she already knows.
10th of July.
July 10th, was that 2019?
A woman knows if you're bad at doing this. But she ain't going to help you out.
And was that then here in Arizona that you met?
It was.
You said that you had original plans to meet and they got pushed back?
Yeah, his plane was delayed, so we met a little later than we were supposed to.
Where did you guys meet? What did you do?
At the Keg restaurant by Santan Mall, and we ate, but we talked until the restaurant closed. We were the last people there.
Ridiculous.
Shut the place down.
We did. I finally looked around and I realized that we were...
I mean, right here, it probably she already likes you. He likes you enough to have sex with you. And she probably wants to have sex with him. She's just waiting for him to ask. He probably never even asked for it. I mean, you're shutting a restaurant down. This is a woman that likes you. You know, a woman that doesn't like you will be thinking of reasons to go. Oh, better get out of here. Gotta go. A woman who's sticking around this long, she wants to bang you.
I was there and told them we probably should leave, and then we went outside and talked by my truck for another 45 minutes or so.
Okay, and she doesn't mention any kissing. You know, I doubt it. I mean, just 45 minutes they're hanging out by her car. Hopefully they're kissing at least. She doesn't mention it. Probably weren't. I mean, she's hoping something's going to happen. But women will let it go. They're not going to make it happen if you don't make it happen, gentlemen. They'll sit there by their car. If a woman sat by her car for 45 minutes, she is hoping you'll go in for the kiss. This is his last night on Earth, by the way. He's dead the next day. This is how he's spending it.
Was Charles coming in to see you, or was there some other reason he was in Arizona?
Charles was ecstatic to see JJ. He was coming to see JJ.
Coming to see his son.
He to school the next morning.
But who did he see first?
He was also coming to look for a place to live.
This
He had
girl.
an appointment to meet a realtor friend after he had taken JJ to school. And then he was also supposed to meet with Lori's brother Adam.
Who murders him?
So you and Charles have this evening on the 10th. Were you going to meet again?
Yeah, we were supposed to meet up in the late afternoon after he got through with the things that I just said.
So did you have a set time for the next
No.
day?
Mm-mm.
Can you describe?
Should have had that done
Charles'
already, but it's all right.
What was his size?
Should have been a hotel room.
And into physical fitness.
Into physical fitness.
While we were talking, I know that he was swimming. He
Swimming.
wound up go to the gym and
Go to the gym. Look at what she's mentioning. Hot, hot, hot.
very fit.
Very fit. Strong.
When you were talking
Sexy
with
is what
Charles
she's
on
saying.
the 10th that evening.
Get in the gym,
Do you
gentlemen,
recall about what time you ended up meeting him?
and lead things to
It
sex.
was around 7. I got there first, and
That's why she's with him.
but it was right around 7, between 7 and 7:15, I'd say.
And do you recall about how long you guys were together until you finally?
Well, the
left?
restaurant closed at 10, and they were closed, and no one else was there, so it was after
The
that.
woman's out till
that,
10 at
and
night with you. She wants
I
to have
said
sex
we
with you.
stood by my truck and talked for
Sorry about that.
another half hour, 45 minutes after that.
So a later evening.
Okay, real quick. Fitness. She mentions fitness. Being good looking. Being bangable is very important. This is the primary reason she's going out with this gentleman. Okay? All that other crap, she's ruining it. He's ruining it. Okay? The reason she's meeting him is he's bangable. Okay? Be bangable. Get in shape, gentlemen. Get jacked. He was jacked.
Yes.
That's why she's around.
Can you tell us, you said that you understood he was going to go see his son. What was his demeanor about with regards to JJ and seeing his son?
Like a kid on Christmas morning, he was very excited to see JJ.
Now, because he's done so much investment, she probably sees him more as a boyfriend and not a lover.
Talk about his wife on that evening or ever. Did you ever hear him swear or use derogatory names or anything like that towards Lori Daybell?
I was surprised with the details that he was describing to me, how kindly he still spoke about Lori, and his hope was that she would be a great mom for JJ.
Did that stand out to you?
A lot.
Why?
Most men that you date are not nearly so kind about their ex, and
It's always
describe them in
That's always a good thing. Be kind about your exes. Okay? Most men aren't. Women hate that.
derogatory ways and don't speak so kindly. And I remember just thinking how odd, in a good way, it was that he was not speaking in a derogatory way about Lori.
So that made an impression on you.
It did.
During any of your conversations with Charles, did you ever learn that he had a life insurance policy?
I did.
As you
Oh,
were
way
talking,
too much info.
Did Charles really just tell you a lot about his life?
A lot about his life, yes.
Way too much info, as I
Were you
say.
almost surprised at the amount of detail of his life that you learned?
Probably why he didn't have sex. Too much. Too much.
Did you understand
Keep things flirty and sexual, then get into all this.
whether or not any changes have been made by Charles to the life insurance policy?
He told me that he had changed his beneficiary to his sister Kay, and as he was proceeding to tell me some of the things that were going on, I suggested to him that maybe he should let Lori know that he had changed the beneficiary on his life insurance to Kay.
Why would you tell him that?
Because of the things that he was describing to me and his concerns for his safety and the thought that money would come into life.
Yep. Beta male provider.
When,
Gun down.
do you recall where you were when you made that suggestion to Charles?
We were sitting at dinner.
Women know about money.
So this is on July 10th.
Correct.
He ain't and she gets the prize. Lori Daybell gets the prize when
What was his
she realizes
feeling
this.
like when you
He
told
should have
him?
told her,
He kind of chuckled and said that he probably should.
but he didn't. He didn't know how to lead. He didn't know about women,
Said that was a good idea.
but he didn't do it, and he
Told us
lost
that
his life.
you don't know Lori Daybell, correct?
I do not.
Would it be fair to say that you sort of have no beef in this case?
I have no beef in this case.
Do you know any of Charles's family back then?
No,
Any of Lori Daybell's family back then?
no.
Um, When you, I guess, left Charles after talking in the parking lot that evening, you told us that you had sort of unformalized plans to see Charles the next day.
Correct.
Was there like someone would call someone, or how was that supposed to go?
He just said that he needed to do the things that I said. Have a morning with JJ, find a place to live, meet up with Lori's brother Adam, and then we would meet up somewhere for a late lunch or something.
Did
No,
you
it's
ever
dinner in a
talk
hotel,
to
dude. It's whatever. It's a
your
hotel.
July 11th of
I did.
It's the second time, dude. Way too long. Dude.
Texting him ever?
Around 11-ish in the morning, I texted him and asked how his morning with JJ had been.
See,
Did you get a response?
she's chasing him.
I did not.
He's passed away at this time.
A couple hours later, I called once, yes.
See, chasing. They will chase you.
I did
If
not.
they're not chasing, they don't like
What were
you.
you thinking when you didn't hear from Charles after you spent this night?
See, she liked him. 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 She would have had sex with him. That's important. You know, he spent his last night on earth talking to this lady for hours and hours. Yes, you might be a lovely lady, but, I'm sure Charles would have loved to have sex with her. She looks like a lovely lady to have sex with, but he's spending it outside her car talking. Come on, guys. You got to lead it to sex. Women expect you to be able to do that. Real men lead it to sex.
Puzzled how I had misread what I had thought been a good date so wrong that he would not even take the courtesy to reply. Wondered why,
But still chasing him.
That was what his decision was.
They will chase you.
July 11th, when you're not hearing back from Charles, did you know that he had been shot and killed?
No.
Did you later learn that Charles had been killed from seeing something on TV?
I was watching TV in December, I believe, and his picture came on the screen, and it said that he was dead.
That was the night after they went out.
Learned that in December, that he had been killed. Did you learn when that had happened? Did
The
you
morning after they
try to
went out.
investigate?
I
Sorry.
did. They set the date, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's right about when I went out with him.
Yeah, the next morning.
And so I went to my phone and thought I probably had deleted our text conversations. If I'm not dating someone and I text, I usually delete
Whatever.
the thread,
Shot.
but I
The
had
public.
not.
She had it. She had his.
And then I realized that I was with him until 10:45 that night, and that he died at 7:30ish the next morning.
Yep. Terrible.
And did
9
you
hours
go and
later.
talk with the police in April of 2020 to tell them what you knew about this case?
I did.
Thank you. The state has no other questions.
Cross.
That is Lori Daybell, a mental case.
Antigua, right?
Correct.
3 life sentences for
Correct.
conspiracy to murder.
And you
Her
stated that your
husband-
or my husband told you that he
Yeah.
was going through a divorce.
Not Charles
correct?
Vallow, but Chad Daybell, her current husband.
And did you have any
who's-
way to verify that?
Her conspirator
No.
is doing, I believe he's got death penalty in Idaho. So these are
did it
winners,
surprise you later
big
to find
winners.
out that we were not in the process of a divorce?
2 killers. Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell, killers.
Charles was in the process of a divorce.
She's
He was not
representing
in the process
herself.
of a divorce. Did it surprise you to find that out?
I like her. I like the way she asks
You've seen
questions.
it all on TV. We're
She
not
killed
being
3 people,
divorced.
or conspired to kill 3 people, and she has this attitude.
So on the website that you met him, did he say he was divorced?
I'm not certain.
Would you have gone on a date with him if he would have said he was married?
The answer is yes,
If
but
I
she
would
can
have
use the.
realized how married he still was, maybe not. But I just met for dinner. I wasn't sleeping with him or anything.
Do you go on dates with married men?
Yes.
Not naturally?
So she's trying to protect her public face. She does, and these are bad questions to ask this lady, poor lady. But she's on a website, dating site. She's taking it for, but it depends. I mean, if they're hot enough, she'll go out with a married guy. She doesn't want to say that in public. Like I said, we all have public faces. We all have private faces, especially women. And she's trying to answer these the best she can to look good publicly. But yes, she will go out with married guys if you're hot enough.
I'm going to also object under 611 for harassment.
All right.
Good objection, by the way.
I'll
Saving her.
objection.
She sustained
Do I
it.
not have a right to cross-examine this witness for what she has already testified to?
You can cross-examine her about what she's testified to.
So you did go on a date with married men,
I went on a date with Charles.
but you did not know he was married.
2 women using gaslighting as you did go on a date with a married man. She changed it to I went on a date with Charles, which is the same person. But this is gaslighting that women will do. She wants to make it about the married guy. She wants to make it about, oh, it's Charles, Look how they changed the definition. That's called framing of the argument.
I knew his divorce was not final.
His divorce was not started.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't
So
worry.
maybe
Lori was
just
leaving the
this.
relationship.
You asked Charles if he was a good kisser. Is that correct?
Maybe, sure.
Maybe they will ask you that if they want to. That means they want to bang you. They're thinking about sex. Are you a good kisser? That's usually what women. That's a way for women to flirt. That's what you should be talking about. Not all your problems. You need to have a way to flirt with that. Wouldn't you like to know? Don't say yes. Just say, leave it ambiguous. I bet you'd like to know. Why don't you find out? Those kind of things. What do
Did
you
answer that
think?
text message?
I'm
We
sure.
object to
I'm sure he did.
violence. Again, 611 harassment.
I'll sustain the objection for relevance
Once again, image control.
and hearsay.
Did you ask if he's a good Christian? She's like, maybe that did. You do. You ask that stuff.
So are you trying to tell me and this jury that you went on one date with my husband and he told you all the details of our lives?
I'm telling you the truth, and that's what I know.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
That's a sociopath. That's a narcissist.
I
Yep.
did not spend the whole time talking about you.
There you go. You
You,
narcissist.
you knew a lot about me,
So what?
right?
So
I know
what?
what I've testified to.
What else did you talk about on your date?
Who cares?
Lots of things.
Like what, for instance?
Life, kids, the church. Lots of things.
Okay.
Way too much. You should be
Did he tell you
flirting.
about anything about our other 4 children?
Yes.
None of that should be
Did you
talked
know that we
about.
have 5 children as well?
Way too much stuff. She knows way too much stuff.
Did you?
And never even
talk
slept
about
with
my
her.
daughter, Tyler?
He did.
Did he talk about his relationship?
Who
with
you
her?
conspired to kill, Lori? Hell you talking about?
Did he talk about the contention in his relationship with my daughter Tylee?
I don't recall that.
Contingent with stepkids. You conspired to kill her. Oh, dude. Oh, I'm sorry. Diabolical. I don't like. Anyway,
Sustain the objection.
On your date,
we're talking about dating.
You talked about my husband was a life insurance salesman. Is that correct?
I knew he did something with money and insurance, but I really didn't know the details of what he did for work. Like I said, I don't ask the details about what someone does for work when I'm trying to get to know someone.
Not when they hot.
But you knew that he sold life insurance. You
Who
stated
cares?
that.
I believe that I had a vague understanding that he did something.
And Lori here, the blonde chick, was pissed when he had changed the beneficiary. You wanted his money. You conspired to kill Chad.
Insurance.
And then he brought that up again at dinner.
Uh-huh. So what?
No, we didn't talk about his work at dinner.
I thought you said you did talk about, correct me if I'm wrong, you said you did talk about that he changed the life insurance policy at dinner.
Well, you were asking me if we talked about that he sold insurance, which that
Do not
didn't
defend
happen, but
yourself
yes,
in the
he did
criminal
tell me that
trials.
He changed the beneficiary of his life insurance policy at dinner.
Did he tell you how much his life insurance policy was for?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
$1 million.
Did he tell you how much my life insurance policy was for?
I do not recall.
Don't worry, you didn't get it.
You don't recall?
We didn't talk about you very much in that vein.
When did you talk to him about me very much then? If it wasn't at dinner,
Who
was
cares?
it in your text messages?
We were talking
This is terrible
about what he was
cross-examining.
going through in the process of separating from you, not about what your life insurance policy was worth. And we talked about you on the phone, and when I say you, meaning what he was doing as he was going through this separation.
So let me understand. You were dating some different men on this website, right?
Yes.
From the websites.
She's ruining her reputation.
Would you say it was common for men to be talking so much about their
There you go. Probably not.
supposed ex-wives during their conversations?
Probably
with
not.
potential-
It's actually very common.
Well, you shouldn't.
Really?
Oh.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
The defendant making comments after her questions.
That is interesting though.
All right, please stop.
Don't do it, gentlemen. Don't do it. Stop it. Do not talk about your wives. Don't be the normal dude. Be
So there
exceptional.
were some text messages between you and my husband after the dinner on July 10th. Is that correct?
Correct.
What time would those text messages have occurred?
After dinner.
What time?
The one's talking about I won't get some later.
10:45 to what?
I'm not certain, ma'am. After dinner.
10:45 to midnight? Maybe?
I just told you I don't know. Maybe.
What did you discuss in those text messages?
Sex.
Object to relevance again. There's a specific area.
Sustain.
You testified a minute ago that Charles told you a lot of things about his wife. You didn't say ex-wife, but you said wife. Is that correct?
Okay, sure.
What were a lot of things?
The things that I testified to.
Can you be more specific?
Am I allowed to do a narrative then?
Let's go on sidebar.
Bad lawyering. We're gonna end it pretty quick
You
here.
indicated after that you saw my sister-in-law Kay Woodcock on that show and you reached out to her. Is that correct?
I didn't indicate that, but that is correct. I reached out to Kay after I saw that Charles had died.
Okay. And did you do that through Facebook or
I did.
social media? Okay. How many times between that first contact and now have you and Kay Woodcock communicated?
I've
I don't think any of that's important.
I was never asked, but I understand that they retrieved them via.
Let's see. Her questions are terrible.
You said sort of the whole year of 2019, correct? But this last understanding that you had of him now going back to a divorce lawyer, was that something you understood to be very recent in time to the July 10th when you're meeting?
Correct.
Okay. And did you understand him to have even met with an attorney?
I believe he told me that,
He's
yes.
getting divorced.
So that was where you were at.
All right, so that's where we'll leave it right
And that's
there.
where you understood Charles to be at.
We'll leave it there. But basically, just letting you guys know, stop lead situations. Women know why you're contacting them. If you want to be in a sexual relationship, great. That's what you know most men are trying to do. Should be sex and lusting and flirtation first. Talking and getting to know each other second. But be lovers. There's nothing wrong with being lovers first if that's what you want. I mean, that's what most men want. I know, we are very controlled by sexuality. Find a woman who's very interested in you sexually. Do not be talking about all your business. They don't want to hear it. It makes you less attractive sexually. And they don't want to be your therapist. You're giving them too much. Women don't want to handle that much on their plate. They want you to be a lover, and the less they got to learn about your private life in the beginning, and the more they let you talk about sex and not your private life, is an indication how much they want to have sex with you. No dinner on first dates. If you're coming from out of town, they're willing to meet you from out of town. Schedule it at a hotel. It's your job to lead it to sex. Make it very clear what you want to do. Make it very clear what's going to happen. Dinners are terrible first dates. Drinks, possibly. I don't drink, but if you want to do drinks first, 1 drink, maybe 2 drinks. You can go straight to a hotel if they like you enough. But discuss it. Be clear. Know what you want. Know your identity. There's nothing wrong morally for wanting sex from a woman. Okay? And that's, and we saw everything he did wrong here. They have a public face and they have a private face, women keep that private face held. Okay? And this is the last night he's alive when he meets this lady. And a lady who probably would have had sex with him, but he never let it there. So, he missed out, and I don't mean that to be facetious or, comical. Not at all. It's we have limited time on this earth, gentlemen, and some of that should be get what you want, and so a lot of that's sex. Get the sex. Okay, you got to leave it there. Okay, once again, just trying to learn lessons here. This is the Lori Daybell case, and this is the breakdown. See you on the next one.